We believe it's so important to be anticipating the next move.
Institutions like BlackRock are aping into cryptocurrency. Big players are adopting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other quality crypto networks best suited to take on the next billion users. In this regard, most people in crypto are sleeping on Hedera. Hedera is an Altcoin Daily channel partner. Hedera is the only institutional-grade network built on by the world's largest organizations, governments, and institutions, making it one of the most underrated Layer 1s in history. What Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, describes here is exactly what Hedera was built for.
We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we can customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets.
In this video, make sure you watch the entire thing because I will show you example after example of the real-world adoption that Hedera has. But just so you understand, what makes Hedera as a network so undervalued? Well, Hedera was built from the ground up to enable institutional adoption natively. As a result, it is one of the only true institutional-grade networks. With the passing of the HBAR ETF, it is a clear institutional favorite. And while so many other crypto projects chase hype, chase headlines, Hedera takes a different path. It was never built for short-term attention or hype. It was built to power mission-critical real-world systems, and that's what it's doing. Launched in 2018 by U.S. Air Force veterans Dr. Lyman Baird, the inventor of the hash graph consensus algorithm, and Mance Harmon, Hedera was designed with institutional-grade trust, speed, and scalability in mind. In fact, here is the co-founder, Dr. Lyman Baird himself, with NASDAQ, speaking on a couple of the very value props that makes Hedera so valuable to NASDAQ and institutions like it. Throughput combined with green energy. Listen.
Throughput, that's one of our favorite terms, but throughput, speed, velocity, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, so we have extreme speed. We have done more than 1.5 billion transactions, more than any other ledger. And we do this, we've slowed it down to only 10,000 a second. Only the current limit. We'll raise that in the future. And it's not just high throughput, it's also just a few seconds till it reaches finality, and it's true finality you can trust. And it all comes down to the math. We use math rather than using hard things, lots of electricity. We just use math instead of electricity to do these sorts of things.
Well, and that was one of the things that really intrigued me, Doc, was that you guys are perhaps the greenest of anybody out there, trying to accomplish this with a ledger and so forth. So you've got these distributed ledgers around the net, and obviously a lot of focus by firms about ESG. Our friend Kevin O'Leary talks about this all the time, that there are a lot of institutions and endowments that will not just burn electricity and put all that carbon. China obviously kicked out the miners because they were using too much electricity in China and because of pollution. You guys are actually the greenest. You use the least amount of electricity to do this verification and to put these on the ledger.
Oh, we do. So there have been reports coming out, like the University of College of London had a report that said Bitcoin uses 5 or 10 million times more energy for each transaction than we do. Even the credit card companies use 10 or 100 times more energy than we do. So we are the lowest of all the major ledgers. We are by far the lowest energy usage, which is good. And then we buy carbon offsets to become carbon neutral, plus some more to become carbon negative.
So one aspect of Hedera, which makes it truly unique, is its Hedera Council. The Hedera Council, responsible for governing the network, is made up to 39 of the world's largest organizations with a combined market capitalization of $2 trillion plus. Each council member runs a network node on Hedera, helps govern the network to ensure long-term stability and best-in-class industry guidance, and builds mainnet use cases. So Hedera's current market cap is about $5 billion compared to the Hedera Council's cumulative value of $2 trillion. Hedera is massively undervalued in this way. So, who are some of these notable council members? Well, here are 7 examples of them, along with council use cases in the works. Number 1, Hedera Council member Mendoles, one of the world's largest confectionery companies, is building at the intersection of supply chain and payments on Hedera. Number 2, Hedera Council member Australian Payments Plus, AP Plus, is the consortium of banks and payment infrastructure in Australia. They're part of Project Acacia from the Reserve Bank of Australia, RBA, leveraging Hedera for stablecoins, asset tokenization, and much more. The first stablecoin transactions are on mainnet now. Number 3, Hedera Council member Aberdeen launched a UK first with Lloyds Bank. They're leveraging RWAs on Hedera as collateral for foreign exchange. Number 4, EDF Energy, France's state-owned energy company, has built multiple sustainability use cases on Hedera. Number 5, Standard Bank, Africa's largest bank, and Shinhan Bank, South Korea's oldest bank, have both launched multiple stablecoin pilots on Hedera. Number 6, Hitachi is exploring developing supply chain use cases. Number 7, Aero Electronics is exploring developing supply chain use cases. So they have a lot of real-world use cases with major players going on, just like they have a lot of things going on with AI. AI is the future. Hedera is verifiable AI. Let me explain what I mean. Hedera is the only network adopted by NVIDIA, Intel, and Accenture for verifiable AI. Check this out. NVIDIA and Intel have Hedera embedded in compatible chips through something called verifiable compute. Verifiable compute is the only way governments can join the AI arms race in a compliant way, and Accenture, one of the world's largest consultancy firms, is shipping this Hedera-based verifiable compute technology to enterprises and governments across the globe. Most people don't know how hard Hedera is going into AI and how they're partnering with some of the biggest names in the business for this. Let's talk Wall Street adoption. Let's talk HBAR ETF. The HBAR ETF means boomer capital can finally flow into HBAR. HBAR was the third ever crypto to launch a spot ETF in the US, only after Bitcoin and Ethereum. Another example showing Hedera is the institutional favorite. The first HBAR ETF is now live on Vanguard, the 11 trillion plus investment firm with 50 million plus customers. Boomers discovering the Hedera Council now have a direct way of getting exposure. And there are 12 plus other ETFs filed that include Hedera, from Grayscale, Rex, Canary, 21 Shares, ProShares, and so much more. Like I said, HBAR is interested in working with institutions. Institutions are interested in working with HBAR. So here are 8 examples of institutional adoption for Hedera HBAR. Number 1, Hedera has been selected to host Frontier Stable Token, the first U.S. state-issued stablecoin backed by state taxing power. Number 2, Hedera has tokenized assets of the following institutions on-chain via ArchAx, BlackRock, Fidelity, State Street, LGIM, Aberdeen, and Lloyds Bank. And as mentioned earlier, Hedera launched a UK-first RWA initiative with Lloyds Bank and Aberdeen, the UK's largest active wealth manager. This is big. Number 4, 4 Philippine banks have collaborated with Just Finance to launch PHPX, a multi-bank collateralized stablecoin on the Hedera Stablecoin Studio. Number 5, Vera, which manages the world's largest leading carbon standards program, partnered with the Hedera Foundation to tokenize carbonized credits, an estimated future multi-trillion-dollar market. Number 6, Hedera Council member, the Nairobi Securities Exchange, NSE, East Africa's largest stock exchange, launched a recent innovation lab on Hedera for the tokenization of the East African capital markets. Number 7, tokenized stocks of Apple, NVIDIA, Strategy, and much more on Hedera DeFi. And number 8, Hyundai and Kia, South Korea's largest car manufacturers, maybe you've heard of them, leverage Hedera to track carbon emissions of their supply chains. Didn't I tell you Hedera was being slept on? Like the video if you're learning something new about Hedera today. And the last piece of the puzzle, Hedera and governments. Here are 4 examples of government adoption for Hedera. Number 1, the Ministry of Investment of Saudi Arabia launched a $250 million investment deal with the Hashgraph Association for their deep tech venture studio to accelerate use cases on Hedera. Number 2, the Ministry of Justice of Georgia signed an MOU with the Hedera Foundation to implement Hedera across the public sector in the nation of Georgia. This includes the tokenization of real estate. Number 3, Qatar Finance Center invested $50 million to launch Digital Asset Venture Studio for use cases to be built on Hedera. And number 4, Department of Science and Technology, DOST, the executive department of the Philippine government, positioning Hedera across the public sector for asset tokenization. So, from institutional adoption to use cases to their council to working with governments, I hope you can see that Hedera is a major player in the crypto space. There are some blockchains that talk, there are some blockchains that do. Hedera does, and Hedera is the only institutional grade network built on by the world's largest organizations, governments, and institutions. It is the most underrated layer 1 in history. Let me know what you like about Hedera in the comments below. For more information, I'll make sure to leave links to Hedera below. Get Hedera on your radar. See you tomorrow.